Good morning and welcome to the craft room. I'm Ellie Barnes. We're going to be making another Christmas in July card. This will be the last for this year. We were planning a lot more, but things get in the way and you don't get done what you need to get done sometimes. So life gets in the way, doesn't it? So let's make sure I'm going live in the right place so that at least people can jump on board. Yes, it looks like I am. So at least people can jump on board. Feel free to jump on and say hello and even let me know where you are, where you're located. We've got a lot coming up this year. We are going to look at doing some online classes. So if you're interested in those, please let me know. We're also going to look, I'm also doing a big D-stash later this year in, I think it's early September. So if you're in the Ballarat area and you want to get some retired products, there'll be plenty there for you to grab. So first of all, we're going to get down to the desk and have a look at the set we're going to use today. It's called Bauble Blooms. It's available online now through the online store. Now let's flip it around because you don't want the ceiling, you want the desk. Come on. There we go. So this is called Bauble Blooms. It's a beautiful stamp set. We're going to use these ones to make this beautiful Bauble bloom. And just going to keep it simple and say Happy Christmas. But I love the sentiments in this. You've got this beautiful font here and it says wishing you a, and then a break, and glad tidings. So you can do wishing you a happy Christmas or a Merry Christmas and glad tidings. So, and it's also got joyous wishes to you and yours. So I really like the sentiments in it. I love the ball it makes, and you're going to see what we're going to do. This is a little bit involved, this card, and it is a fancy fold. So we better get started straight away. So the first thing we need to do, as per normal, is bring in our cutter, our trimmer. Now, this is just a bit of leftover card stock from another card. So I'm going to trim it. Instead of our usual 14.8, I'm going to make this 14 because it's easier when you're not using point something when you're doing cards for fancy folds. Now we're going to stretch out our arm because we're going to need to score. We're going to score first of all at 5 centimetres. Instead of folding in half, this is as I said, a fancy fold. Oh, and hang on, don't make a mistake, Ellie. You need to actually make sure the card's only 20 centimetres long. So we need to cut that little bit off too. As I said, even numbers. I did make a mistake when I was doing a practice run yesterday and had to start all over again. And we'll score up here at 5 centimetres. So if you look at it, now I've got a 10 centimetre card that can close like a gate card. But we're going to do a lot more to it this fancy fold. At 3 centimetres going this way, I'm going to cut between the two score folds. Now I'm standing up, I'm trying to see where they are. My camera's in the way. So we just want to go from one score fold down to the other, which is, I should know, 5 to 15. And then I'm going to turn it around here and do 3 from the bottom. So 3 from the top and 3 from the bottom between the 5 and 15 mark, or between the two score marks. So now we have a, oh, that didn't cut through. Did I do a, I might have done it the wrong way. Did I use the scoring blade, not the cutting blade? I thought I used the cutting blade, but maybe it wasn't flat enough. Didn't cut, certainly. Now it has. So we now have this pit popping up in the middle. We're going to then put this back along here and we're going to take it to 7.5. And we'll get the cutter out of the road and we're going to score between the two cut lines. So up to 3. And then we're going to take it along to 10. Well, actually, this is the way I remember it. This is easier. So you're doing the same on the other side. So you take this side to 7.5 and score. I think my jumper's getting in the way is what's happening. All the clothes you have to wear in winter. So now we've got this centre bit scored so it can stick out. We need to score the back here. So we do that at the halfway mark, which is 10. And so we're doing it from the line up. And then if you lift your scoring blade as high as you can while it's still flat, you can run it down to the next piece, or the bottom piece, and do the same without having to open up and move your cardstock and everything. So we now have those fold back, that folds forward, and we have this nice little fancy fold where that's all going to come up. And that's the basis of the card. Now, when you're posting it, it folds flat like so. So we can decorate all in here now. And you can fold it. I've seen people fold it with that one up and that one back. It just, whichever way you want to go. The next bit we're going to do is start decorations. Now, I've made this card twice. I made it once on Lost Lagoon and I made it once on the Berry Burst. And I've come up with, I want to use a combination of 2. So I'm going to cut this. We know this is 5 centimetres by 14. So I want 2 pieces that are 5 centimetres by 14 because I want to turn these edge pieces into Lost Lagoon. So that's going to fit right over that edge piece. So the ends, the sides of my card will look like Lost Lagoon, but the inside will be Berry Burst. And I've got another piece here. Now, this is the two-sided, two-toned cardstock. So we're using the dark side up. I'll just keep moving bits out of the road that we don't need because we'll end up in a mess otherwise. So we need 14 for this side by 5 centimetres. I usually end up in a mess when I'm making cards. In fact, you should see the craft room. It's a complete mess. Jane would be horrified. But I have been getting ready for the D-stash. So that's turning our card, and it looks like now I've got 2 different cardstock colours. I'm also going to take a piece of this two-tone cardstock, and I'm using the dark side again, but I want it to be, what am I trying to say? I want it to be this cardstock, and you'll see why. So I'm only wanting 9 centimetres by 13.5. And when I'm finished, I'm going to cut these in half and they're going to sit on top of here. Now that side looks a lot different colour. I think that's a slightly older piece. Is that 5 centimetres? Yes. I'm just checking it's exactly 5 centimetres. So we'll cut 13 off. No, we need 14, don't we, for this? That looks better. That's better, and that's better. Sometimes I've found with the two-tone cardstock, if you've bought it in a pack, like a multi-coloured pack, such as it goes with a sweet or something, you'll find that it might be just slightly a different colour. So it looks like we're doing that, but we're not. Next, I'm going to cut some of this. This is just the In Colour Designer Series paper for the Brights. And the first thing I need to do is I want to fill this piece in, and I know, and if you don't if you're not sure, do what I always do and grab your ruler and measure it. And I know it's 8 centimetres and they're 3 centimetres. So I want to have some of the edging on it. So I need, if it's 8 centimetres, I need it at 7.5. And then to do your next bits, you can always do what I do. This is what I do. I grab my ruler and check. Look, we know that's 10 centimetres along there because that's the back of the card. So what we've got here is 2.5. It's a bit hard to see. I know. 2.5, 5 and 2.5. So I'm going to cut 2 for there. I want this to be 5 to go there, and I want another 2. When it's only small measurements, I tend to use that side so I can hold it on this side. Right, those are those bits. So we have those bits covering that, and we have those 2 pieces. We have that to fancy up the sides. Now I need some pieces here. I know they're 3, so I need it to be 2.5. And I know it's the back pieces and there's 4 of them, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. So they'll be 5 centimetres. I don't think that was straight. I'm going to cut it out of this one so I can get it straight. So I need it to be 5 centimetres long. And I need 2.5, and I need it 4 times. So here we go. So I've just about got all the cutting done. That was only 2, Ellie. Measure twice, cut once, they say. Right, let's get all these bits out of the road. So there's all my pieces to go on. Now I do need a white piece. I'm going to put 2 on. And this is at the back. Now I know I can only put them here. So I need 4.5. By 13.5, and that gives us some writing room at the back. Okay, so that's a fair bit of our cutting done. I think it's all our cutting done. We'll pop that away. So first thing I'll do is I'll start gluing these pieces on. So if you put them up above you, how they're going to be on the card, you can get them into the right place. So first I'll start with my side pieces. Pop them like so. Now, although it's a Christmas card, I've decided not to use traditional colours, but this would look great in traditional colours as well. The reason I didn't use my traditional colours is I just thought, let's do something with a more of a pinky colour, because we're out spending time with Bella and for her birthday with her family, both today and tomorrow. So she loves pink, so we decided, what have I done here? Did I not? What have I done? I did them at 5 instead of Ellie. sometimes when I'm chatting to you, I make mistakes, don't I? I got that one right by the looks of it, but these, I think I've done it slightly too big. Let's have a look. Yes, I've done it at 5 instead of 4.5. Because, did I do that at 5 too? I did do that at 5. Can we get it off? We did. Oh, I've made a mess of the card. Just pretend I didn't make that mistake. I think we'll get away with it. Now, when you've had glue on your cutting board like this, it gets all sticky. And I've got all sticky. It wouldn't be one of my lives if I didn't make a little mistake somewhere, would it? The other one's here. Now, before I glue this down, let's make sure I've only done this at... I did that at 5 too. It should be 4.5. Because the measurement is fine. And you're putting the piece on top. You see it? Thrown myself a bit by making that the full size, and because I want to cover up the berry burst, but these need to be the smaller size. Let's see if we can get it right now. So we've got one there, and one there. We'll put these down the bottom before they stick to each other. Be nice if I get them straight too. Hi Liz, I'm glad you're watching. It's been a terrible cold night, hasn't it, and windy? Oh well. We've got to have winter, I guess, eventually. And rain is well and truly needed. Okay, let's get these bits on. These go down the side here. This one goes down this side. And this one goes down the middle. Right. So that is our card. Now, I'm going to fold these backwards. Oh, he's not stuck yet. So that's our card. We just need to decorate. And it sounds easy, doesn't it? Well, we're going to do a couple of things. We'll start with a white piece of paper. We did have one. Someone's been in here. Someone was in here this morning making things. Goodness knows what, but my white cardstock's gone. So we'll just grab another piece. We won't need all that. I'll just cut. I'm only going to need about this size. So I'm just going to cut that bit off. I did have a small piece, you see. That's all we need. Because we're going to stamp this bauble. Oh, sticky fingers. Now, I did show you we need 3 stamps to create the bauble. And you can see I have been using them. We don't need that one yet. We're going to use, getting myself in a mess, Blackberry Bliss, Berry Burst, and Pretty Peacock. So we're going to start with the Pretty Peacock. And this is our first stamp. I want to have lots of colour. And I want it to dry a little bit because I'm going to bring in a blender brush so I can blend. And I need a little bit of paper behind it so I don't get it everywhere. Now, you could just leave it. I've seen a few people work with this set and they've just left it as a white background, but I felt I'd like a bit more stronger colour. Come on, work with me. And you do have to go a bit wider because the die is wider than the stamp. So we're just getting some colour. I want a bit of colour down that centre bit too. So I'd use the brush on the side a bit because I'm trying to leave the whiter parts for the flower. So that should be enough, hopefully. And then we're going to come in with our flower. This is where you get to see if I can stamp straight, because we're going to stamp right over the top. Now I'm going to stand up because I want to be over the top to get this in the right place. Now I think that might be it. It's not too bad. Oh, it's not as dark as I was hoping it'd be. I didn't press hard enough. But that's okay because it's still going to give us what we want. We'll press this one a bit harder. That's berry burst I love, so I use it a lot. Now you've got to try and line them up. Now I've got so much ink around these flowers that's gone onto the stamp, but that's not too bad. I'm not happy with how dark that is. Can I? Particularly, I'm not so much worried about the little flowers, so we might do this. Let's do this and just see if I can get it onto the big flowers. I'll probably mess it up, you know, and have to start again. But we'll see how we go. That's not too bad. That's a bit more colour. So we have now our bauble. Just get rid of this. Red colour inks not only send your polymer stamps a lovely dark colour, as you can see, but they get everywhere. And I don't need stained fingers to go out today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut that out there. I have somewhere a little bit of gold, so I can cut out a little gold top for it. And I think that's all. Oh, while I'm at it and have them cut on an emboss machine with me, over here I'm going to emboss. Now this is out of the, what is it, Holly Jolly? Can't remember the name of it. Oh, where did I put it? I put it aside so I could tell you, but I haven't got it. Oh, this side I put it. Told you it's a mess in here. This is called the Jolly Holly Dies. It's dies in the embossing folder. Now I'm going to emboss the dark side of the two-tone cardstock with some holly leaves. So we'll pull these aside. We'll get this cut and emboss machine in. We'll start with cutting, and then I can get rid of that mat, the cut and emboss mat. So we're just, you can see it sort of has a fairly wide, I'll just cut a piece of this off so we can get the gold in there, and we'll run that through. Put my dies over there so I don't lose them. Take these off. Now, because we're using a hybrid embossing folder, we just need plate 1 and plate 4. So we'll pop this on. Doesn't really have to be straight, but just for my own... Oh, Ellie. There we go. That's better. And we'll just go run this through. So we're finished with that. All going well. Sometimes I've said that and I've had to bring it back, haven't I? Okay, so we now have this lovely piece, and it's already starting to bring out the white from the inside, but I really, really want to highlight that white on the inside, on the dots and the berries, but not on the leaves. And there's a couple of spots where the leaves are quite high too. So I'm going to take my sanding block, and I'm being a bit careful on where I sand, so I don't sort of disturb or pull the colour off any of the leaves. Because when I first did this, I just rubbed it across and I had a number. See, there's a little spot of leaf that's come up. It's not the end of the world, but it is easier if you don't do too many leaves. This one's quite a bad one if it gets done, because it's quite a big piece. So I'm just being a little bit careful. And I want these white berries. And as I said, the white dots too. It's just bringing a bit more colour into the side piece here. And we're going to do a few other bits, because this is the bit that we'll cut in half and put on the side of our card. Nearly did that leaf there. Right, so we now have some white berries, but I want to do a lot more with this so that I get a lot more colour. We don't have a lot of Christmas Designer Series paper at the moment. Now, I have dropped in the bottom of this a drop of my refill ink, which is here, which is Lost Lagoon. And I'm using the blender brush, or this is, sorry, a blender, what do they call this? A blender pen. And I'm just taking, I don't want too much ink, so I'm just spreading it in around, and then I'm going to get some off. And what I'm going to do is just colour the leaves. And I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this, because I don't want to colour it too strong. That one's probably stronger than what I was intending. But it's just so that they stand out a bit more on the card. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but oh, that's not too bad. It's probably a little bit stronger than what I intended, but what you need to do, these brushes, I'll bring this back in because I might need some white. You can like rub it until they go clear again and then use it on a different colour. Or if you have a lot of ink on it, it'll come out strong and then blend down. Or if you're doing what I'm doing and then just colouring, you might be too strong, so you want to get some off and then use it for colouring. Now, this cardstock is not for watercolouring. So if you rub too long in the one spot, you will tear the paper and make a hole. And it might start pilling and all sorts of things. So, and I find you can only use a little bit of colour at a time, like I'm doing, and just dab and go back and dab and go back. And you eventually get the colour all over. I found it was easier if I had done my outline and then went along in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do all over the card, but you don't want to sit there and watch. All that would take too long. So here's one I prepared last night. Exactly the same thing. Done exactly the same way. So we can pop that aside. Now, the next step I want to do is cut that card in half. And once it's embossed like that, you've got to be careful not to tear any bits. So you just go gently. I know it's 9 centimetres and I'm using 4.5. So I'm just going gently through to get that cut in half. So we'll get rid of that and that. So here's our bauble. So I'll stick that on there and I'm going to stick those on the side. I haven't closed my stamp pad deliberately because we're coming back to it. I'll do this first because I want it to sit and dry so I can play with that in a minute. Just go like so. And then we'll do these. So these are now just sitting over there. I could have gone all the way to the edge, but I actually quite liked that it had a flat edge around it. Right. I'm now going to take another blender brush. This one's my Lost Lagoon. I don't have one for every colour, but this one's got Lost Lagoon on it at the moment. And I just want to darken up around the edges. And this is a nice way to force your focus into the centre of the card. I'll do the same on this side. So that's just to bring your, force the attention to go into the card. Now while I've got this stamp set out, where did I put my other two pieces, my white pieces that I cut? She laughs. Oh, here they are under this bit. That's all right. We don't need that bit anymore. We don't need that. We don't need that. Let's get them out of the road. We do need... Where did I put my... Oh, I've used it. We do need a piece. Oh, I do need to clean the desk. Here, this'll do. There. Now we're going to start again on this one. Don't need as much. You could use a sponge to sponge it or a daubler. But because I've already got the blending brush, I'm just going round with that. And this one. Like so. Clean this up. And these two pieces I'm just putting on the back here. And by putting, I could have blended it in the Berry Burst, but by leaving it with the Lost Lagoon, it's bringing that colour to the back of the card as well. And this way, you've got two little bits at the back here that you can write on. Now, while that dries, we need to do our greeting. And I only want a small greeting, so I'm just going to bring out, these are my offcuts. It's actually a Pringles container that I've decorated, that I keep all my long strips in. And I'll use one of those, and I want it to have a bit of background. So this is a bit of offcut off the card, and this can sit over here. Now I think this might be a little bit wider than I want, but it will do, because no, she says it's not going to work, it's too wide. Oh, let's just bring in a little piece of paper. We only want one, that's 1 centimetre, because I can tell you I've cut it off a card, and I only want this to be 1.5. Because of where it's got to go. And I want this piece to be 9 centimetres. So there we go, we've got that sorted out. Bring our stamp mat back in. And I've taken the words Happy Christmas. If I was doing a traditional card, I might have used Merry Christmas, but Happy Christmas seems right. And I'm just bringing in the pretty peacock, the same as we did the leaves. And we'll get it up the right way. And hopefully we can do this without too much mess. That looks pretty good. We'll take our scissors and we're just going to cut. I'll see how it goes with that much. Is that going to be, that's a bit long. I'm going to cut those edges a little bit shorter. Just try not to touch the top at the moment. Make sure it's completely dry because I don't want to smudge it. How's that? So that then can sit on there. But I want to use some of these little dimensionals on the back. And I'm only going to do one on each end, and you'll see why in a moment. Where's our pip gone? It's gone. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. So we'll get rid of those. Pop that on here. Can't see. When you're working with the camera above you, you actually look from the side, so it's very hard sometimes to see what's straight and how much room you've got on either side, because you're looking at on an angle. Okay, so right now we have a pretty ordinary looking card. So let's grab this, and we'll have 3 of the bigger dimensionals down the centre. That might be a bit large. Oh no, it's all right because it's the top. And this is going here. Right in the centre there. And this one will get 2 more dimensionals, 1 on each end. And I know, so you might be thinking, but you always would have put 1 in the middle. Not today. Not today, and you'll see why. I'll go in there. Get over there. Let's get this back in the middle. Now this fits there. So when we fold our card to stand up, it comes forward. So that's how it looks. But that's not all I'm going to put on. We now have to bling it up, don't we? So we'll get a little bow happening. All fingers and thumbs. Look at those edges. Somewhere in this mess over here I had my glue dots. I did. She says, oh no, I put them up here. Now, the glue dot's going to be too big as it would be because I want it there, and then if I put it there it could stick. So I'm going to stretch it out along the gold because I don't want it to be up to stick to the back of the card. So it's not. And then I'm going to stick my bow on that. So that'll work. That works nicely. All right, some bling. Now, what bling will I use today? I didn't work out the bling, so I keep my bling in a tub. And what I do is I label the front of what it is and what colours are in it. So I'm just going to flick through. We need, oh, that's got Lost Lagoon in it. Ooh, that could actually be nice. Has it got small ones? No, they're only big. They're a bit big. We won't use that one. I should have had this all prepared, I know, but that's an option. Maybe, particularly looking at the gold up there. No, there's those little gold ones. What do you think? What should I use? Hi, Sue. I'm not sure what colour I'm going to use. I'll tell you what I do have. Somewhere hidden here is these ones. They might work just nicely, the darker berry burst ones. But I'm also thinking, oh, there's a set that's going. These are on the last chance, and they've got these lovely shiny ones. Got heaps of those left, so maybe we'll use those. Oh, those or those? Those. There you go. Problem solved. Get you out of the road. I'm going to put... I want to put them in the middle of the flower. You can't tell, though, can you? Perhaps I do need to get the gold ones back. Perhaps I do. Or will these show up in the middle of the flower? Those ones didn't show. These ones are quite shiny, so they might... Yeah, they actually show, don't they? And then we could put... Do these ones look all right? Why not have different ones? No, I don't need any on the side, I've decided. We'll just leave those two in the centre. Bit of Winker Stella now. What I wanted to plan to do was this. Instead of putting beads on the side here, now that they're white, I'm going to make them shiny with the Winker Stella. And we'll do this side. And then to match in with the spatter that's on the sides, I'm just going to spatter some Winker Stella all over my card. Bit hard to see this at home, but it does give then dots of sparkle all over your card. And I quite like those dots of sparkle. I can always squeeze a little bit in. Don't do it over your card in case it blobs. And then lots over the centre here. And what we might do is we might just colour a little bit here. I find though, if you colour on a dark colour, grab your piece of paper. I can't, I must have thrown it. This bit here. Just clean off any of the red. This is actually going to blend those colours around a bit. So I'm not going over every bit, I'm just going over a few bits. Careful not to touch the red. And that just adds some colour into those. And then you could just whack a bit of colour. So as I said, be careful when you're using Winker Stella over the inks, because you can start spreading the inks from one part to the other. So if I'm doing red, I just stick with the red. And that way, this will all be lovely and shiny. I think that's it. So that is my card. There's the back. There's the front. It sits like so. Now you can sit it so it's like this. And you can put that one forward. So it depends where they want it, where it's got to sit. So it can sit like that with the top backwards and the bottom forward. It looks fine. Or you can sit it forward like that with the two, with it back and like that. And you can sort of see how, oh, I can see it sparkling. So hopefully you can too. But that's my Christmas card, and it really does then focus on that beautiful bauble. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Now let's come back to me. Oh no, don't do that on me. All right, that's my card for today. As I said, it's called Bauble Bloom. It is available on the online exclusive stores right now, and it's a great little set. There's not a lot of dies in it, so it's not that expensive, but it is a fun little set, and you can do lots of cards with it. You could do a variety of different cards, and I'll try and show you some more this week. But I just thought I really wanted something that concentrated you right into that bauble so that you had a chance to really focus on it. I hope you have a good week. I hope you can stay warm, and I'll be here next week. We'll have a look at something completely different. All right. Take care, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.